Padres and the Orioles tonight. Darvish on the mound, and he's going to have a tough test. Cedric Mullins, he returned during that Seattle Mariners series for them, and you add him, who is a former All-Star, to Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson and Anthony Santander. They've got a lot of talent in that Baltimore Orioles lineup, and the back end of that bullpen isn't too shabby either, and they've got a pretty good rotation as well. So it's definitely going to be a tough test for the Padres going into this series. I don't expect them to win this series, but it is the Padres, right? They like to play down to competition when they're playing bad teams, but then when they're playing good teams, somehow they find a way to win some of those games or at least keep those games close, except the Dodgers. We can throw that out. But it just feels like they play up to competition or play down. Like they play to the level of the competition for the most part. So maybe it's going to be a competitive series, and the Padres can find a way to take 2 out of 3, win this series. But I don't expect it to happen, and why should I expect it to happen? 5.5 games back the Padres sit. Ben Gamel, according to Jeff Sanders, has a locker in the Padres clubhouse. That could be Jose Azocar going down. If it is going to be Matt Carpenter, and again, that news is not out as of now, but if it is going to be Matt Carpenter, it should be, but I would be surprised because Matt Carpenter hasn't had an at-bat in weeks, and if they were going to move him off the roster, I think they would have done it weeks ago. I think they're just trying to find a trade partner in the offseason for this, and so they've kind of given up on Matt Carpenter, and they're just going to have him on the roster, and they're okay with playing with 25 guys, not 26. They believe that the position players, they're going to be playing pretty much every day, so there's not a big need to have another position player sit on the bench. But yeah, Ben Gamel is going to be activated. I would think it's a Zokar that just goes down, and it's just an outfielder for outfielder swap. Unless one of the starters goes on the IL, which it's not going to happen because the lineup's already out, and it's pretty much the regular lineup. It's everyone that you would expect to be in there is in there. It's pretty much the same spots in the order. I don't see Bob Melvin switching the order very much this season. I think he's just saying it's up to you guys in the lineup. You have to be better, be more consistent offensively. It's up to you now. I've tried changing the lineup, and I can only do so much. AJ has provided me with this roster, and you guys are the roster, so you guys got to go out and just be better consistently. Again, it's going to be a tough test with the Baltimore Orioles in town. The Orioles, they're just a better team than the Padres. They have way more wins, over 70 wins, and the Padres, they're under 500. So again, don't expect the Padres, I don't at least, I don't expect the Padres to win this series, but I have a funny feeling that they're going to keep it competitive. They're going to have a packed Petco Park, just like it always has been. Will they be able to entertain Padres fans this series? Will they be able to entertain Padres fans this homestand? We'll see. This homestand, I think, is going to be huge for this Padres team. And it could decide the season. I try to stray away and not say that every series or every homestand is going to decide the season, but this one's pretty big because of the opponents they're facing. 1-6 in their last 7. They face an Orioles team. If they lose this series, that will dig that hole deeper. If they can't play well against the D-backs and Marlins, those two teams are ahead of them. So those two teams will gain games even more on them, gain more games ahead of them, and the Padres could find themselves not just 5.5 games back, but they could find themselves 8, 9 games back, and that would be really bad. And right there, that's more time ticked off the calendar, a week and a half ticked off the calendar, and you're not even in a better spot. That's going to be bad. So I do think this homestand could end up deciding the season. So they better start playing better, and at the end of the day, win baseball games. Just like Padres players have said in that clubhouse, they just need to win more baseball games. We'll see if they'll be able to do it. My Underdog Fantasy pick, Darvish, on the pitch count, I think it's 92.5. I'm going to go higher on that. That doesn't seem very high. Post-game reaction after the game, as always. If you missed my episode earlier today talking about Juan Soto, the rumors of the Padres trying to sign him to an extension during the season, as they have all season, reportedly, gave my thoughts on that, and on Ryan Flaherty, Bob Melvin. You can catch that on the YouTube channel and on podcast platforms as well. Also, my series reaction from the D-back series is also on YouTube and on podcast platforms. You can catch that there as well. All right, that's it. Enjoy the game tonight.